So this is a microeconomics question number 2 type question. I'm taking it from 2006, number 1. I gave you the link. Hopefully you have that. And here we go. You're going to have 15 minutes to do this question and upload your answer in the next 5 minutes after that, 20 total minutes. So I've redrawn on the board what you've got in the question, okay? This is obviously a monopoly graph with a downward sloping demand curve and a marginal revenue curve below the demand curve, okay? And I've done my best to reproduce all the quantities and all the prices. There is one art museum on the island of Watsonia. The museum's demand and cost curves are shown in the graph above. The museum currently relies on admission charge for some of its funding. Its directors are debating how to set the admission charge. Using the labeling of the graph, identify the price and quantity associated with each of the following objectives. A1. So I'm going to put the answers over here. A1. What if they wanted to maximize their profits? You maximize profit where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. Here's marginal revenue, here's marginal cost right there. So that's Q2, and they would charge P5. Okay, so P5, Q2, because they want price first and quantity second. Part 2, A2. The museum wants to maximize total revenue. Where do they maximize total revenue? They maximize total revenue where E equals 1, elasticity equals 1. Where does elasticity equal 1? Where marginal revenue crosses over the horizontal axis. So that's at Q4 and P3. P3, Q4. So remember that that's the point where E equals 1. And that's where they maximize total revenue. Part 3, the museum wants to maximize the sum of consumer and producer surplus. Part 3, where do they maximize producer plus consumer surplus? Where the supply curve, the M marginal cost is the supply curve, crosses the demand curve, where supply equals demand. That would maximize producer surplus would be the bottom triangle, consumer surplus would be the top triangle. So that's Q3, P4. P4, Q3. Okay? All right. Part 4, the museum wants to maximize their attendance as long as it breaks even. So where do they break even? IV, part 4 there. Where do they break even? Where average total cost equals the demand curve. So that would be Q5, P2. P2, Q5. Okay? So that's where they would break even. Costs equal revenues, because revenue is price times quantity. Remember that? So that would be Q4. Did I say Q4? I should have said Q5. Sorry, Q5. Yeah, Q5, P2. I got it. Yeah, I had it right there. Q5, P2. Okay. Part B. When the attendance is Q1, way back here, is the price in the elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic area? Well, it's way up high on the demand curve. In fact, it's above E equals 1, so it's elastic. Why? Now, there's several reasons that you'll get the correct answer for. You can say it's elastic because marginal revenue is positive. Marginal revenue is greater than 0. That's really the best answer. You could also say Q1 is to the left of the midpoint. Well, the midpoint is where MR crosses over the horizontal axis. Remember that? That was an acceptable answer. Q1 is to the left of the midpoint. And the third acceptable answer was it's in the upper range of the demand curve. They actually accepted that for a point back in 2006. All right, part C. assume that the price is set at P2. Down here, that's where ATC equals the demand curve, okay? So that means that they're going to break even. Assuming the existence of opportunity cost, indicate whether the museum's accounting profits will be positive, negative, or zero. All right, so the ATC includes the opportunity cost, so that means that the accounting costs must be less than the total cost. Therefore, accounting profits must be positive. It's part C, right? Yeah. Accounting, ACCTG, profits are positive. And if they want you to explain, yeah, explain why. Because of the formula that total cost equals accounting cost plus opportunity cost, okay? And so if there is an opportunity cost, then the accounting cost must be less than total cost, giving us some kind of profit, okay? Part D, assume that the government decides the museum should charge no admission fee at all and agrees to subsidize the museum for any losses. Using the labeling on the graph, identify the museum's attendance under that circumstance. Well, if the cost is zero down here, price is zero, the attendance is going to be way out here, and there is a label there, Q7. Sometimes students miss the fact that there was a quantity way out here where demand equals is on the horizontal axis there, okay? So Q7 is the answer there. Q7, using the labeling, identify the attendance. Would the outcome be allocatively efficient? And the answer there is no, because the marginal social cost, assuming that there are no external costs here, the marginal cost is also the marginal social cost, okay? And the demand is not only the marginal benefit, it's also the marginal social benefit. And it's important to remember the social aspect of this, okay? And so at this point, obviously, marginal social costs far greater than the marginal social benefit, and that's why it's not allocatively efficient. The other way to answer that is that the price is not equal to the marginal cost. Okay, so that's that one.